Hello everyone, welcome to MBBS classes. Myself Dr. Hanifa. Today in this video I'll be talking on one of the important topic from the medical education, that is the domains of learning. So let's see the topics which we are going to cover today. First of all, we'll learn about what is learning. Then we'll see about the domains of learning, what is taxonomy and the role of taxonomy in learning, the taxonomies for the three domains of learning. So, first of all, since the today's topic is domains of learning, so we must know what is learning. Learning is a continuous process. Any profession needs more than knowledge, and there is growing awareness and attention to the skills and attitude in the medical curriculum throughout the globe. So, learning is a conscious and the active process of acquisition of new knowledge, skill, and attitude, resulting in the permanent change in the behavior as an outcome of the internal motivation or interactive experience with the environment. So, learning is the acquisition of the three things. First is knowledge, skill, and the attitude. Now, let's learn today, or you can say, let's begin our topic today with our first example. I'm sure many of us have attended the driving schools for learning driving, isn't it? As you can see, and we know that for learning the drivings, first of all, we become aware of the different traffic signals, the rules, the basic knowledge of the methods of how to drive, and the functions of the different individual components of a vehicle. That means first we come to know, or first we learn about the knowledge part. The first is the we must have a knowledge about the different components. Then only in the driving school we learn the skill of driving. Thereafter, when we develop the attitude over the time with the practice, we are ready to drive on the roads. So, learning driving itself is an example of acquisition of knowledge, skill, and attitude. And here you can see that in the second example, here you can see that this is a picture of a guitar. So many of us, we know how to play guitar, but unfortunately I don't know. So to learn how to play guitar, we must have a knowledge about the different parts of the guitar, the different functions of the guitar, the different of the individual parts, and moreover, we should also have a knowledge about the different chords of the guitar. So this is about the knowledge part. Once we acquire the knowledge, then one can start to practicing and we can learn how to play guitar. That is, we next for learning how to play guitar, first is the acquiring the knowledge and second is the skill. And as with practice when one can play guitar with the attitude, let me show you an perfect example of a famous guitarist, Sir David Gilmour, who is an Englishman, vocalist, guitarist, and was once a member of the rock band Pink Floyd. So he's a renowned figure, so we can link knowledge, skill, and attitude in relation to the playing guitar. Now let us come to our medical field. As we know that by the Medical Council of India, for the Indian medical graduate, now the competency based undergraduate curriculum is developed. In the competency based medical education or the medical curriculum for an Indian medical graduate, there are certain competencies which has to be achieved by an Indian medical graduate, and the role of an Indian medical graduate has already defined. To know more about the competency based medical education, you can go through our video on CBME. So for an Indian medical graduate, the roles, let us just revise: role of a clinician, communicator, team leader, professional, and a lifelong learner. And these competencies, they belong to the different domains of knowledge, skill, attitude, values, responsiveness, and the communication. So this is our MCI page for the undergraduate medical curriculum. And the development and the practice of all the components of these three domains helps to become a competent medical professionals. So now let's come to the domains of learning. So by domain means categories. So domains of learning means the categories of learning. So there are three domains of learning. The first is the cognitive domain, which is the domain of knowledge and the development of the intellectual skills, that is the thinking. Then the second domain of learning is the psychomotor domain, that is the domain of physical movement, coordination, and the use of the motor skills. The third domain is the affective domain. Affective domain is the domain of feeling and the attitude. Now let's see one example from our MCI curriculum for an Indian medical graduate. In our medical curriculum, certain competencies are derived. So this is taken from the MCI curriculum. So the competencies are already defined in our medical curriculum, as you can see here. And you can see that and next to the competency, in the third column, you can see it is written domain. So it is clearly mentioned in our curriculum that the particular competencies which has to be achieved by an Indian medical graduate is belonging to which particular domain. So if you see here, like it's taken from the general physiology, describe the structures and the function of any particular organ. This will come under the knowledge domain, that is the cognitive domain. And if if in the competency it is written like elicit, document, and present a medical history, then it comes under the skill domain, that is the psychomotor domain. So for a teacher, the first job is to identify the content which is to be taught is belonging to which domain, because the competencies which has to be achieved and the domain which it belongs to, it itself guide towards choosing a proper teaching learning method and choosing a proper assessment method. So we are not going into details of the relationships between the our competencies, or you can say the learning objectives, the teaching learning methods, and the assessment. That will be taken separately. So here you can see that whenever there is a competency which is already defined in the curriculum, it is clearly mentioned in our curriculum to which domain it belongs to. Like here you can see that it identifies the domain which is being addressed. So the three domains, they are not watertight compartments. Any learning objective or the competencies which has to be achieved, they may fall into the individual domains and there may be something common. So now let's see what is taxonomy. Taxonomy means the scientific process of arranging things into groups. So by taxonomy of learning domains, it explains the different ways of categorization of the learning. The three domains of learning are often attributed to Sir Benjamin Bloom, who was an educational psychologist who wanted to develop a system of learning behavior to design learning. If we see the role of the taxonomy as a whole, the taxonomy, it is important for formulating learning, for formulating the teaching methods, for formulating the assessments. Taxonomy, it helps to guide the development of the learning objectives, because when we know about which competency we are going to achieve, then for that competencies, we for taking the classes, for designing the classes, we have to break down that competencies into the different learning objectives. Then the taxonomy, it guides in the development of the assessment. So as a whole, you can see that the taxonomy, it helps in the development of the curriculum. It helps to develop and choose a proper teaching learning methods, and it helps in the teaching strategies. Moreover, it is helpful for the students for their self-assessment. So the three domains of learning, they are the cognitive domain, affective domain, and the psychomotor domain. So the taxonomy of the cognitive domain is also called as the Bloom's taxonomy of the cognitive domain, which is used worldwide. Later on, it was revised by his colleagues Sir Lauren Anderson and the David Krathwohl. And the cognitive domain was the first domain to gain attention in the field of education. So the Bloom's taxonomy is specific to the cognitive domain. For the affective domain, the taxonomies most oftenly which is being referred to is the Krathwohl's affective domain. And for the psychomotor domain, there are several taxonomies which are in use, but the most commonly which is being referred is the Simpson's taxonomy or sometimes the Harrow's taxonomy. So let us see one by one. So the Bloom's taxonomy or of the cognitive domain, it is specific to the cognitive domain of the learning, that means to the knowledge domain, and it presents a hierarchical structures of 6 levels from the simplest to the complex. So if we see the different levels, the lowest level of the Bloom's taxonomy is the knowledge. Next to the knowledge is the comprehension, then comes the application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. Later on, the Bloom's taxonomy was revised by his colleagues, and in the revised Bloom's taxonomy of cognitive domain, the synthesis it becomes the highest level of learning. So, under the knowledge, the learner should be able to recall or remember the information and the facts. Under the comprehension level, when the learner can explain the ideas or interpret the facts in their own words, then it means that the learner is in the level 2 or in the stage of comprehension as per the Bloom's taxonomy. Under the application, if a learner can use the information in a new way to solve problems, then it is in the stage of application. Under the analysis, here they can examine the information and break into the individual components. Then in the synthesis, but nowadays the synthesis is in the highest level of cognitive domain. Here the learner can create a new product, and in the evaluation they make judgment based on the criteria. So in the Bloom's taxonomy you can see that the knowledge is the lowest order of the or the lowest level of the cognitive domain. The first 3 levels, that means the knowledge, comprehension, and application, these 3 are called the lower order thinking skills, and the upper 3 levels they belong to the higher order thinking skills. So the lower order thinking skills, they are sometimes, in short, they are called as LOTS, and the higher order thinking skills from the analysis to synthesis, they are called as HOTS, that is the higher order thinking skills. Now let us come to the Krathwohl's affective domain. The Krathwohl's affective domain, it is a classification system for the attitude or the feeling. Under this classification, there are 5 levels from the simplest to the complex behavior. So under the level 1 is the stage of receiving, then next is the responding, third is the valuing, fourth is the organization, and fifth is the characterization by the values. After the cognitive domain, the affective domain was the domain which came into attention in somewhere around 1960s. This domain is most often overlooked, and it is one of the hardest to evaluate this affective domain. So let us just see in brief what we mean by receiving. By receiving, we mean that the student or the learner has the ability for the acceptance of sentiments or the feelings. For example, when a person or a student is attending the classes, it is listening mindfully, then it means it is in the receiving level of the affective domain. By responding, we mean that there is a dynamic investment by the learner, like for example, participating in the classroom discussions, to volunteer, to take interest. It reflects the responding stage. By valuing stage, we mean that the capacity to see the value of something and express it. Organization, by organization means to discuss, to formulate, to balance. And the top level or the highest level of the affective domain is the characterization by the value, that is to act consistently in accordance with the values he or she has internalized. Like for example, to revise, to avoid, to resist. These are some of the examples. We will discuss the individual domains separately with respect to our medical curriculum in separate classes. So for the psychomotor domain, this is the Simpson's taxonomy. So under the Simpson's taxonomy, there are 7 levels from the simplest to the complex. Under the simplest is the level of perception and the complex is the level of origination. So we know that the psychomotor domain is related to the motor skills. That means to the physical movements, coordination, and moreover, acquiring and developing these motor skills, which is related to the psychomotor domain, they need practice. And these are measured in terms of the speed, you can say the precision in executing any motor skills. So the Simpson's taxonomy has 7 levels. So under the level 1, that is the level of perception or awareness. What do we mean? So by this we mean that the learner has the ability to use the sensory cues to guide the motor activities. Like the learner can detect the non-verbal communication cues. By the second level, that is the set means the readiness to act. This second level of the psychomotor domain, it is related to the second level of the affective domain. So the affective domain, the second level was the stage of responding. So the stage of responding of the affective domain, it correlates very well with the set or the readiness to act of the psychomotor domain. Then the third is the guided response. So remember the guided response, it is an early stage in learning a complex skill. It includes the imitation or by the trial and error. So let us see some of the examples. Like for attaining any motor skills, we can say that if anybody is learning cooking, so adjusting the temperature and the heat of the stove while cooking is in the stage of perception. Then when we are assisting any surgeries, to be able to choose or give the main surgeon the correct instruments during the surgery, it is the stage of perception. Then how do we know that the learner is in the second stage? If we take a competency like to know about the steps of the tracheostomy or to learn how to manage the epistaxis, then if a learner is well versed, well aware of the different steps involved in the tracheostomy, then it is a stage of readiness to act. Under the guided response, which is an early stage in learning a complex skill, for example, learning how to perform a cardiopulmonary resuscitation in the skill lab by simulations in the clinical simulated situation. It is in the stage of learning a complex skill. Then next to the guided response, a higher level is the stage of basic proficiency. It is an intermediate stage in learning a complex skill. Here, the learned responses become habitual and the movements can be performed with some confidence and with proficiency. The stage of expert, that is the complex overt response. Here, the learner can perform the complex skills quickly, accurately, and with minimum of energy. Adaptation means the skills which are well learned, developed already. The learner or the person can modify the patterns depending on the special requirements or you can say the clinical situations. And last is the stage of origination. Here the learner can develop or can modify the techniques for performing any motor skills. So this I have taken from the medical curriculum to discuss about the different domains. So here you can see this is taken from the section of otorhinolaryngology. So let's see this competency: identify, resuscitate and manage ENT emergencies in a simulated environment, including tracheostomy, anterior nasal packing, removal of the foreign bodies. So if you see here, it is written that under the domain knowledge, skill and attitude. That means if For example, if we take any of these like tracheostomy or anterior nasal packing, any of the ENT emergencies, if the learner is able to identify, resuscitate, and manage either of these emergencies, that means the learning is happening in all the three domains of cognitive domain, psychomotor domain, and affective domain. So, if an Indian medical graduate is able to manage an ENT emergencies, identify, resuscitate, that means it is showing the competency in all the three domains. Now, let us take the example of identify and manage the ENT emergencies requiring tracheostomy. So, if we see this competency, we can break down these competencies into individual learning objectives. Like for an Indian medical graduate to perform a tracheostomy, first of all, it is needed to define the tracheostomy. So, if the learner is able, if the student is able to define the tracheostomy, it is following under the knowledge domain. Then enumerate functions and types of tracheostomy. Then it is again under the knowledge domain. Then enumerate the indications of tracheostomy in children and adults. It is again the knowledge domain. When the student is able to describe the clinical features, investigations, principles of management of stridor, it is belonging to both the knowledge and the skill domain. Describe the surgical anatomy of upper airway in relation to tracheostomy. It is again falling into two domains, that is the knowledge and the skill. So if an Indian medical graduate has to perform a tracheostomy, they must know how to do the counseling and the informed consent for the tracheostomy. So this is falling under the affective domain. So here you can see that for this competency is involving all the three domains. So now the other learning objectives for achieving this competency can be to enumerate and identify the instruments required for tracheostomy, describe, demonstrate the steps of tracheostomy, which is knowledge and skill, describe the post-op care and management, and enumerate the complications. So any competencies which has to be achieved, the learning objective has to be identified and the domain has to be made clear, because the domains which they belong to, it itself guides in the teaching learning methods and in the assessment, because the teaching learning methods and assessment, they must be aligned with each other. So with this I come to an end of this video. Thank you for watching MBBS classes.